Hello, my name's Fiona and I'm the very proud mummy of Logan. Logan will be 15 this November. He's certainly not perfect, but he's definitely a limited edition, shall we say. Logan's got a serious mental impairment, which loads of different diagnoses, but essentially he is approximately about 18 months mentally. He non-verbal, doubly incontinent, profoundly self-harms. And I've been coming to park, I suppose, in the region of about 10 years when I was introduced by another parent to one of their stay and play sessions. And it was my opportunity, shall we say, to share some life experiences with parents that walked the same road as I did and try and learn how they've navigated, shall we say, extremely choppy waters, which you definitely don't get a map or direction in which way to head. So about 10 years I think I've been associated with Park currently. Life without Park, unimaginable. 2010, my son's presentation took a serious nosedive with the extent of self-harming, and following a 12-week admission to Northumberland for psychiatric assessment, we were discharged with a strong recommendation that he needed to be put in a residential placement. He was 9, and we ended up in a catch-22 situation when we returned home, in as much as nobody basically would touch us with a barge pole. It was too risky. It's that thing of, if you've got snow on the ground and you brush it up, you're liable if somebody falls. If you leave it, it's pedestrian beware. And that was a situation Logan and I found ourselves in, where he was too risky for anybody to have on their books. And then it was school that had actually contacted Park and brought along the community nursing team, and it was Sam from Park at the time. And I sat there and laid Logan out on the table for them and waited for the usual response, which is, nah, can't deal with him. And instead they actually turned around and said, we'll give it a shot. We'll put the plans in place, we'll give it a shot. I don't think the first visit went very well after that. I think we did end up with an ambulance on site, and poor Sam got stuck at hospital with me till like 10 o'clock at night. And I thought, that's it, they're not going to touch us now. And they remember having a meeting and them saying, well, it didn't really work very well because Logan obviously wasn't informed of the policies and procedures. But what was the revelation was they actually turned around and said, so what can we change? They recognised that limited edition children like Logan can't change. They are who they are. And in fact, it's the provision around them that needs to change to give them the quintessential support for them to access things that other children take for granted, that other families take for granted. Life without Park would mean we are totally housebound. As it is, my only criticism of Park would be they haven't yet found the elastic walls to increase their capacity, because they are so oversubscribed. Park's like a chameleon. Park changes and morphs to the individual child. Park is rather like an oasis in the desert, in that it's a real taster of, do you know what, how the world and how society should treat our children, how acceptance should be for our children, because that's not our experience. It's constantly being turned away, not meeting the criteria. You almost have to be pink with blue spots and lean at a 45-degree angle to access the limited provision that's out there supposedly for special needs children. Park obviously stands for Play and Resource Centre, and their mission statement, if that's what you would call it, is every child has the right to play. But I actually think their success basically lies in the name Park. The label's on the tin, as it were, in as much as PARC should stand for perfect acceptance regardless of condition. It's just a unique and very, very special legacy that these guys have created for families like mine. What would life be like for Logan without Park? Well, let's just take the summer holidays that have gone by. 6 weeks of purgatory, shall we call it, for any parent, regardless of whether the kids are mainstream or not. But we had 10-day stretches in that 6-week holiday where we couldn't walk out our front door. My son's needs are so profound. He's at a profound and complex needs school, but he is driven there by 2 escorts on his own minibus. He is in a class of 2 with 3 members of staff, and he's risk assessed at 2 or 3 to 1. So on a budget sheet, Logan is not financially viable at any care provision, because when he comes here, he has to have 2 members of staff with him at all times, plus a manager to effectively oversee it in the case of meds administration, etc. So he wouldn't get to go or do anything. Park have given him life opportunities that I, as a single mum, because don't forget we're a 2 to 1 risk assessment until he comes home to me, that I can't do. I can't give him those opportunities. He's been to the theatre. I think he spent most of the time in the foyer, but hey ho, he went to the theatre. He's been to the beach. He's been swimming. He's had access, basically, I think they should call him Lord Fauntleroy here, because it really is red carpet and flower petals. The times that he came here this summer holidays, he had the whole of the outside area to himself, set up with the paddling pool, the trampoline, even though it's a ground-based trampoline, with all the netting taken off because he's got no perception of height or whatever, so if it touches your head it's rather like chicken licking, the sky's fallen in, so that he could easily step on. All the relevant adjustments were made, and to give Logan that opportunity, to give Logan something that, I'm just trying to put it in words, but basically to go out and have fun and see other people and not to be a house prisoner. And despite the fact that mentally he's probably only about 18 months, he is a teenager. You know, all the hormones and everything are kicking in. And you know what? I'm sure he gets fed up to the eye teeth because all he sees is me. And life without Park, from a parental perspective, yes, it gives you some breathing space. Yes, it maybe gives you the opportunity to go to the supermarket, because that was my big difficulty in the summer holidays. I couldn't go food shopping. But they also supply all the requisite documented evidence from a professional capacity, have attended many professional meetings for Logan in order to try and secure the requisite care package that I need. So from Logan's perspective, he wouldn't have the care package we're currently sitting on without Park's professional intervention. Last year, Logan was admitted again to Northumberland. He went in on the 15th of April and was discharged on the 3rd of August and was discharged on the 15th of April this year, 8.5 months. They even sent staff up for discharge meetings. They sent staff up for midterm meetings to ensure that when Logan returned, they were up to spec with all the current medication, the care plans, the behaviour management plans. Park, basically, because it's the perfect acceptance regardless of condition, it is discipline with compassion. It's all about sharing good practices. It's all about what can we change. And thing is, just as we get the perfect setting, our kids morph. You know, another problem sticks its ugly head up. And it's just like, okay, we need to deal with it. But from a financial perspective for Park, they absorb all the costs entailed, because if I was to pay somebody per hour, 3 members of staff per hour, from 10 in the morning to 5 in the evening, it would be totally financially impossible. But I still pay the same as a parent of a child who comes here that maybe can be in a group setting with, you know, so many children to one adult. So it's, every enterprise needs money, but we're struggling. and we so desperately need people to give funding. We all know the old adage of an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Well, if we can get a £5 a day, our kids get to stay and play. Thank you.